about the glories of holy name. So first we will recite the verse now, then followed by then discuss. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudire Nashtaprayasha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapatakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamcha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Mugam Karoti Vachalam Pangun Langeti Girimitrupatam Mande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramanandam Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shradvaita Gadadara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we will be discussing from Canto 6, Chapter 2, entitled AJÂMILA delivered by the VIŠNUDūTAS. And today verse we will chant is verse number 8. So any Prabhuji Sir Mataji would like to recite the verse? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna. Etenaiva hayagnosya krutam syad aganishkrutam yatha narayana yeti jagada cheturaksharam. Scroll down, Prabhuji. Translation. The VIŠNUDūTAS continued even previously while eating, and at other times this AJÂMILA would call his son, saying, "My dear Narayana, please come here." Although calling the name of his son, he nonetheless uttered the 4 syllables Narayana simply by chanting the name of Narayana in this way. He sufficiently atoned for the sinful reactions of millions of lives. Translation once again. The VIŠNUDūTAS continued even previously while eating, and at other times this AJÂMILA would call his son, saying, "My dear Narayana, please come here." Although calling the name of his son, he nonetheless uttered the 4 syllables Narayana simply by chanting the name of Narayana. In this way, he sufficiently atoned for the sinful reactions of millions of lives. Purport. Previously, when engaged in sinful activities to maintain his family, AJÂMILA chanted the name of Narayana without offenses. To chant the holy name of the Lord just to counteract one's sinful activities, or to commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy name, is offensive. Namo balat yasya hi papa buddhihi. But although AJÂMILA engaged in sinful activities, he never chanted the holy name of Narayana to counteract them. He simply chanted the name Narayana to call his son. Therefore, his chanting was effective because of chanting the holy name of Narayana. In this way, he had already vanquished the accumulated sinful reactions of many lives. In the beginning, He was pure, but although he later committed many sinful acts, he was offenseless because he did not chant the holy name of Narayana to counteract them. One who always chant the holy name of the Vishnu without offenses is always pure. As confirmed in this verse, Ajamila was already sinless, and because he chanted the name of Narayana, he remained sinless. I did not matter that he was calling his son. The name itself was effective. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So we are at the interesting section here where we are seeing Ajamil is in the deathbed. And the two parties are there arguing with each other. One is VIŠNUDūTAS because he chanted the name Lord Narayana. So VIŠNUDūTAS came. And Yamadūtas because he was very sinful. The Yamadūtas came to take him. So both are having a discussion here. So previously the VIŠNUDūTAS are actually chastising the Yamadūtas that they cannot take him. No, because he chanted the holy name of the Lord. So he cannot be taken to Yamaraj for punishment. Because he is already very much, because he chanted the Lord's name, he has to take to the Lord Vishnu's abode. So in that way, the discussion is going on from verse number 1 to 6 actually, where the VIŠNUDūTAS chastise the Yamadūtas. Now, here particularly from 7th verse to 19th verse, we are seeing that now the VIŠNUDūTAS started glorifying the holy name. It's very important. In Kali Yuga, we have a lot of references like Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Iva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva, 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 Gatiraneta. Not only in Kali Yuga, even in other Yugas also, but especially in Kali Yuga, there is no other way. So our only hope in the Kali Yuga is actually taking the shelter of the holy name. You can say that our only shelter is actually holy name. And our only strength is actually holy name. So yesterday also, we chanted 64 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra for the well-being of spiritual master Guru Maharaj, Solna Jayapada Swami Maharaj, because that is the only strength we have. We do not have any other strength apart from this in Kali Yuga, is to chant the holy name. Throughout Bhagavatam also, this chanting of holy name is very much emphasized. Kaler doshe nide rajan asti mahan gunan kirtana deva krishna se mukta sangha paramraja. So it is very clearly throughout Bhagavatam, it is emphasized that our only shelter, not only in Bhagavatam, also in other scriptures also, Padma Puran, Agni Puran, all the scriptures, all the Vedic literatures, they emphasize on chanting the holy name. The same thing the VIŠNUDūTAS actually are explaining to the Yamadūtas here in this verse, that the Yamadūtas are arguing that because he was very sinful, they have the right to take him to the Yamaloka. But VIŠNUDūTAS, here they are actually telling that how the VIŠNUDūTAS, they are continuing the discussion, the previous verse, 7th and 8th verse together. Ajamila has atoned for millions of lifetimes of sin just by chanting the names of Narayana in helpless condition. So we have to understand this, very important. You may think that there are two ways of chanting now. Somebody is chanting without offenses, immediately all his sins are eradicated. But if we have another kind of attitude that I am doing this sin and tomorrow morning I will chant, so that whatever I chant, all the sins will be eradicated. Like that, if you do, that is Nam Aparad. That is offense against the holy name. Then it will not work out. So when there are three stages of chanting. We are always repeatedly hearing this. Three stages of chanting are there. First is Nam Aparad, means offensive chanting. That is what we are all now doing, because there are 10 offenses against the holy name. We all know the 10 offenses. So we have to chant attentively. We have to chant, like we should not blaspheme the devotees, Vaishnavas. It's like that. There are 10 offenses we are reading every time before chanting the holy name. Every Friday we are reading. That is, Nam Aparad means chanting, but with offenses. Out of 10 offenses, maybe we are doing 1 or 2, or we may be doing 3 or 4 offenses, still chanting. That is actually sadhaka stage. We are still practicing. And we are not intentionally doing offense. Sometimes accidentally also we do. After the Namaprad, the next middle stage, this is the lowest stage. Namaprad is the lowest stage. Next stage is Namabhas. Namabhas is chanting, it's a clearing stage. That is, this is what Ajamil did. Ajamil did not do intentionally, but he uttered the syllables Narayana, that, he did not he don't want to counteract his sinful action, but he just chanted. Here you can see, Ajamil chanted the name Narayana without offenses. This is second stage. Prabhupada said at least one should, if you cannot come to the pure stage of chanting, Ashuddhanam is the final stage. At least if you come to this Namabha stage, he said it is very good. Because at least we should come to the middle platform, not stay at the Namapara stage. So now, when you stand at Namabhas, what happens without offenses? You will get liberated. So it is liberation is guaranteed at Namabha stage. Then what about Shuddhanam? Shuddhanam is actually chanting pure stage without any offenses, and it is chanting for the pleasure of the Krishna. So there we get Krishna Prem, love of Krishna. So that is the advantage of chanting Shuddhanam, means you get love for Krishna. So here we can see Vishnudutas are actually continuing the discussion with the Yamadutas. What they are saying, Vishnudutas are saying, even previously, they are referring to the past this one, while eating, and other times, this Ajamila, what he did, he would call his son, because he kept his son, fortunately, he kept his son as Narayana. That's why in olden times, we see that almost in our family, we are seeing that all the children names, they are kept in the God's name. Because this is a concept. We are derived from scripture that knowingly or unknowingly we'll chant the holy names. Because we know the Hari, Narayana, like that Mukunda, like that we have many names. This is the same thing Ajamil also did. Ajamil kept his son, last son name as Narayana. So he will call us, my dear Narayana, please come here. When calling his son, he tell Narayana, come here. Narayana, did you take food? Narayana, did you, study proper? Like this. Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. So by that he is chanting indirectly the Supreme Lord's holy name. Although calling the name of his son, he nevertheless, these are all told by Vishnudutas, although calling the name of his son, he nevertheless uttered the four syllables Na, Ra, Ya. So that's why four Vishnudutas came, because there is four syllables here. Okay, so Na, Ra, Ya. And there are three Yamadutas in the place. One side there are three Yamadutas standing, one side of Ajamil, because he did sin with Karmana, Manasa, Vacha, with word, mind, and action. And other side, there are four Vishnudutas standing other side of Ajamil. Both are discussing, and Ajamil is in the middle. And because these four syllables, Na, Ra, for every syllable, there is one Vishnudutta has come there. So four Vishnuduttas are there. Simply by chanting the name of Narayana in this way, Ajamil, what he did, he sufficiently atoned for the sinful reactions of millions of lives. So the Vishnuduttas are saying to Yamadutas that you are only seeing the sinful life of this life. But by chanting the name of Narayana, not only in this life, he has counteracted the sinful reactions of millions of lives. That is the potency of the holy name. See, we are most fortunate. We have the effective way. People are difficult. They are practicing the spiritual life. They are doing yogasana. They are doing so many things, austerity. But Bhagavatam says that if you sincerely take the shelter of the holy name, that is more than enough for you to protect yourself in this life and also go back to Kirtana Deva Krishna se Mukta Sangha Parambraye. So that is the greatest benediction in Kali Yuga. So the Kali Yuga is very tough to practice spiritual life because the surrounding is not favorable. So Krishna made the process very, very easy. That is telling you how the tongue is for free. So whenever you take the holy name, as much as possible, Kirtaniya Sadahari, 24 hours is ideal. Ideal is 24 hours. But how much is possible? Prabhupada recommended at least 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mantra. So below that, not accepted. So 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mantra one should do minimum. Apart from that, while walking or while going somewhere, we can chant within our mind also. Because if you leave the mind without chanting, what will happen? Idle mind is devil's workshop. If you leave the mind will think so many things about past, worry about the past, why you have done like that, and so much fear about the future, what will happen like that. So the mind always is engaged in some kind of thinking. So instead of leaving the mind with some kind of thinking, we can slowly, slowly practice to habituate the mind to chant the holy name of the Lord whenever it is idle. So that, our mind is engaged in Manmanabhav Madbhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. Krishna says in Bhagavatam, Manmanabhav Madbhakto means in mind always think about Krishna. How we will think about Krishna is by taking the shelter of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So very easy process. Only thing we have to have the mind You see, because we know that this chanting is very important, but even though we are uh, telling to many people, not everybody is chanting. Why? Because they are not fortunate. They are not fortunate. Why they are not fortunate? Because whatever they sin they have done is preventing them from taking the shelter of the Holy Name. So that is very important. If somebody will accept it and sincerely practice, that means they are very considered as very, very fortunate souls in this planet. So Purport Prabhupada is writing previously, when engaged in sinful activities to maintain his family. So Ajamil, he was from a very noble background. He was from a Brahminical background. He was following all the rituals properly. And he was married. He had a beautiful wife, children, everybody. But one day, accidentally, while he was going to pluck flowers, so what he did, he saw a Shudra and Shudrani embracing in solitude. So then his lust got provoked. So Prabhupada also writes in this verses now in Purport is writing. Those days it is like very rare such kind of things. People don't do like that in public. And still Ajamil got contaminated. Was just seeing one, and he's saying Kali Yuga everywhere you see. Like Prabhupada went to America in park and all. Prabhupada used to go with disciples. There are many parks, public parks in Western countries. They are male, female, they are publicly embracing, kissing like that. And Prabhupada writes in the purport, in Kali Yuga, not one place, everywhere it is like that. So the chance of falling down or chance of arousing the lustful tendencies everywhere. If you take a TV advertisement or if you see in the social network websites, whether you YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, anywhere you open, you can see people are like so much exposing all those things. So the younger generation also become easily contaminated or their mind can become polluted. So that is a very unfortunate situation in Kali Yuga. And as the Kali Yuga will progress, this will become more worse and worse. So every parents, they are worried also because of this. This is the Kali Yuga's progress. That Prabhupada is writing. I don't know whether you already read it or maybe it will come in the coming verses. Prabhupada will already uh, write. But Prabhupada has written somewhere in this Ajamil pastime. He has written that in Kali Yuga, this is will be very prone in public. So that's what Ajamil, he saw that, and then he become contaminated. And what he did, he taken that prostitute and he left his wife and the children, and then he started living with that prostitute, and he started engaging in lot of sinful activities in order to maintain his family. So sinful activities will have sinful reactions. Vikarma. Vikarma means prohibited actions. So Vikarma will have sinful reactions. But Ajamila, fortunately, he kept his son's name as Narayana. So every time, without knowing, he is chanting. Ajamil chanted the name of Narayana without offenses. The second stage of chanting, not with offenses. That is with uh, without offenses. So to chant the holy name of the Lord, just to counteract one's sinful activities or to commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting of holy name is offensive. So, namno baladasya hi papa buddhihi. On the other way, if we are calculating in our mind that I am did so many sinful activities today, so tomorrow morning I will chant so that all my sinful activities will go. Like that, if you do that, sinful activity will never go. We have to face the reactions. So that is very important. Intentionally we are doing, accidentally we are doing. Both are there. When we are doing intentionally, we have to suffer more and more intentionally. Accidentally we are doing without because of our sins, and we are repenting and we don't want to do it again, then Krishna may forgive. Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita also that even a sinful, if a person is actually sinful, means we've taken up devotional service, and if he will accidentally commit some sin, and I will deliver him, still you should consider him as a sadhu, and I will deliver him quickly. So that is very important to understand. Accidental sin and intentional sin. That means meditating and doing a sin and then thinking that I will contract with the holy name, that is an offense to the holy name. So when you do offense to the holy name, then your chanting will not be good and you will not get the desired result. That's what is one of the 10 offenses of holy name is a namno baladasya hi papa buddhihi, to commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting holy name. But although Ajamil engaged in sinful activities, he never chanted the holy name of Narayana to counteract them. So his intention was not that I am doing so many sin to maintain my family. So I am chanting every day Narayana name So this all sins will go away. Like that, he did not chant. He just chanted accidentally by his son's name. He simply chanted the name Narayana to call his son. Therefore, his chanting was effective. So Prabhupada writing, why? Because people may think, oh, I will do a lot of sin, then I will chant Narayana, it will go. That's why Prabhupada is giving that explanation. If you do with intention, it will not going to work. It is an offense to holy name. So therefore, his chanting was effective. So Acharya's purport are very, very important, because if you just read only the translation, maybe we will be misled. Oh, by chanting, like that. But here Prabhupada is writing all the two ways, intentional and accidental. Therefore, his chanting was effective. Because the chanting of holy name of Narayana in this way, he had already vanquished the accumulated sinful reactions of many, many lifetimes. Not only in this lifetime, he has vanquished the accumulated sinful reactions for many lifetimes. In the beginning, he was pure. We know that Ajamil was having a very Brahminical way of life. He was born in a very in a Brahmin family, and he was following high Brahminical standards. And one thing we know, that Vaishnavas are above Brahminical standard. Okay, above Brahmanas or Vaishnavas. Because Brahmana also can fall down, because he is only in Sattva. But a Vaishnava is actually in Suddha Sattva. The pure Vaishnava is actually in the Suddha Sattva, means they will not fall down. As a Prabhupada writes in Bhagavad Gita also about Vishwamitra Muni, who fell down during tapasya by hearing the ankle bell of Menaka. But whereas Haridas Thakur, when the same prostitute visited, Haridas converted the prostitute into a devotee. That is Vaishnava. So Vaishnava, here you can see Ajamil is a Brahmana. Still Brahmana in Sattva, he was following all the rules, rituals properly for many years. Still he fell down by just seeing a sight of a Shudrani. Okay. So in that way, Vaishnava is exalted. The chance of falling down is very remote, because Krishna will protect them, because they have taken the shelter of the holy name. In the beginning, he was pure only, but although later he committed many sinful activities. He was offenseless because he did not chant the holy name of Narayana to counteract them. This we already discussed. One who always chant the holy name of the Lord without offenses is always pure. We chant the holy name of the Lord without offenses. That means we are considered to be pure, even though we are in this material body. As confirmed in this verse, Ajamil was already sinless. And because he chanted the name of Narayana, he remained sinless. The only advantage Ajamil had is he kept his son's name as Narayana, and every day he used to chant the word four syllable, Narayana, 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 Narayana. And since he was chanting without any offenses, and so he remained always pure in spite of all the sin he did. It did not matter that he was calling his son. The name itself was effective. So that is the power of the holy name, that if you chant, it is like taking the medicine. We do not know how the medicine is working. Like when we get fever or stomach pain, we just doctor prescribes a medicine. We don't know what is inside the medicine. We don't know. And we take it with water, and we don't know once it is going into our body, how it will work. That also we don't know. We take the medicine, after 2-3 hours, the fever is coming down, or the stomach pain or any headache is going away. So we do not know what is inside the medicine, and we do not know how it is working, but we are getting relieved. Same way, the holy name, we do not know how it will work within our consciousness. But if you take the holy name, automatically it will purify us. We do not know how, but it will do, because the holy name is so effective. Whether we believe in the medicine or not, if you take it, it will work. Same way, if you even accidentally we chant the holy name, it will still work. Or if we chant with faith, it will work. If we chant without faith also, because it is same like a medicine. So that is what we are discussed today in this, and this will continue further. And we can, if any devotees want to add any points in this verse in purport, feel free to add that one. Or if you have any questions or doubts, please you can ask. If you don't have anything, then we can go to the next verse, 9 and 10. That is 8, then 9 and 10, I think together. Chanting the holy name is the best process. Hare Krishna. So 2 verses are there. Anybody would like to read? And there is no purport also. So we can read and then go to the next verse also. So any devotees would like to recite this verse? Verse number 9 and 10. Hare Krishna. Okay. So if no one is there, then I will recite this verse. Stena surapo mitra drug brahmaha guru talpaga Sri Raja Pitri Gohanta Echa Patakino Pare Sarve Shamapi Agavatham Idam Eva Suniskritam Nyama Vyaharanam Vishnu Yatastad Vishayamatihi. So translation and purport by Joint Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: the chanting of the holy name of Lord Vishnu is the best process of atonement for a thief of gold or other valuables, for a drunkard, for one who betrays a friend or a relative, for one who kills a brahmana, or for one who indulges in sex with the wife of his guru or another superior. It is also the best method of atonement for one who murders woman, the king or his father, for one who slaughters cows, and for all other sinful men. Simply by chanting the holy name of Lord Vishnu, such sinful persons may attract the attention of the Supreme Lord, who therefore considers, because this man has chanted my holy name, my duty is to give him protection. So this is again glorifying the holy name, that if somebody has done a mistake by doing all this, if he will take to the atonement, he will regularly, sincerely repent and chant the holy name of the Lord, then the Lord will give him protection. So that is 7, 9, and 10. So next we will go to 6.2.11. So 6.2.11, anybody want to recite?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I will try, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mother, please.
Hare Krishna. न निष्कृतैर्उदयैर्ब्रह्मवादिभिः तथा वसुध्ययता आगवान् व्रतादिभिः यथा हरेर्नाम उदाहृतैः तथा उत्तमश्लोका गुणोपलम्बकम्. Scroll down, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Translation. By following the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies or undergoing atonement, sinful men do not become as purified as by chanting once the holy name of Lord Hari. Although ritualistic atonement may free one from sinful reactions, it does not awaken devotional service, unlike the chanting of the Lord's names, which remind one of the Lord's fame, qualities, attributes, pastimes, and paraphernalia. Translation once again. By following the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies or undergoing atonement, sinful men do not become as purified as by chanting once the holy name of Lord Hari. Although ritualistic atonement may free one from sinful reactions, it does not awaken devotional service, unlike the chanting of the Lord's names, which reminds one of the Lord's fame, qualities, attributes, pastimes, and paraphernalia. Purport. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura comments that the chanting of the holy name of the Lord has special significance that distinguishes it from the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies of atonement for more severe or most severe sinful actions. There are 20 types of religious scriptures called Dharma Shastras, beginning with the Manu Samhita and Prasara Samhita. But here, Pasara Samhita. But here, Parasara Samhita. Hare Krishna Prabhu, sorry. But herein it is stressed that although one may become free from the reactions of the most sinful activities by following the religious principles of these scriptures, this cannot promote a sinful man to the stage of loving service to the Lord. On the other hand, chanting the holy name of the Lord even once not only frees one immediately from the reactions of the greatest sins, but also raises one to the platform platform of rendering loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is described as Uttama Sloka because he is famous for his glorious activities. Thus, one serves the Lord by remembering his form, his attributes. Hare Krishna. Where it's gone. Okay. His attributes and pastimes. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura explains that this is all possible simply by chanting the Lord's holy name because of the Lord's omnipotence. What cannot be achieved through the performance of Vedic rituals can be easily achieved through the chanting of the Lord's holy name. To chant the holy name and dance in ecstasy is so easy and sublime that one can achieve all the benefits of spiritual life simply by following this process. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu declares Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. All glories to Sri Krishna Sankirtana. The Sankirtana movement who have started offers the best process for becoming purified of all sinful reactions and coming immediately to the platform of spiritual life. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Again, very wonderful verse with the translation and wonderful purport by Srila Prabhupada. Here, the two things are mainly emphasized. One is chanting does not only to atonement of sinful activities, but also second effect is it will cultivate our spiritual life also. Not only neutralizing, but also positive is cultivating our love of Godhead. That we can see very clearly, like in Krishna consciousness in ISKCON, when people are coming and chanting, it is not that only they're becoming pure, they are also becoming attracted more and more to the lotus feet of Krishna. Their spiritual life is getting developed day by day. That we are seeing throughout the world. Prabhupada, just by the power of the holy name, he opened centers everywhere. And there are in every country, there are people who are actually so much attached to the lotus feet of Krishna. So that is very important here. Two things are mentioned in this verse number 11. By following Vedic ritualistic ceremonies or undergoing ceremony, atonement. So because in our scripture, there are also atonement. There are many prayaschitta provided. For every sin, there is a prayaschitta given. If you are doing that sin knowingly or unknowingly, then if you want to overcome, then there is a prayaschitta recommended for that. So that is called Vedic ritualistic ceremonies or for undergoing atonement. Sinful men do not become as purified as chanting. So people who do that ritualistic ceremonies, they are not as much as purified like chanting once the holy name of the Lord Hari. Again, this is emphasizing the glories of the holy name. And also we should remember, while we are reading the glories of holy name, we cannot explain this to unbelievers because that is also an offense to glory means to explain the glories of the holy name to the faithless people. So that's why it is in the Bhagavatam, who is coming to read Bhagavatam, who is already having faith. They are only coming and reading Bhagavatam. But when we are generally recommending to the public, we don't explain all the glories of the holy name. All these things we don't explain. We can tell them to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is not offense. But to explain the glories, it is only for faithful people we are explaining the glories, not for the faithless people. So here, that's what, as chanting once the holy name of the Lord Hari, it tells that just by chanting one time the holy name of Lord Hari is more powerful or becomes more purified the sinful people than undergoing ritualistic ceremonies or undergoing atonement. So although ritualistic atonement may free from one from sinful reaction, the word here, sinful reaction is very important. What these ritualistic ceremonies will do or prayaschitta will do, it will free one from sinful reaction. So whatever vikarma they did, their reaction, that will be nullified by making this atonement, ritualistic atonement. May means it is not mandatory. May means it can or it may or it may not. Okay, the ritualistic ceremony. But it will not awaken devotional service. So atonement will not cultivate bhakti. It will not cultivate bhakti. But chanting the Lord's name, which remains of one's Lord's fame, qualities, attributes, pastimes, and paraphernalia. So here, this is chanting will remind us gradually when we are chanting more and more that the chanting itself will help us to remember about Lord's fame, Lord's qualities, Lord's attributes, last Leela and paraphernalia, all those things. We'll go to the purport. Prabhupada quotes from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he is commenting that chanting the holy name of the Lord has special significance, means special importance. That is different from the Vedic ritualistic service, prayaschitta, or atonement for severe, more severe, and most severe. That is like Krishna says in Bhagavata, no? Guhya, Guhyatara, and Guhyatama. Means secret, more secret, most secret. Like that. For atonement also, severe, higher than that is more severe, and most severe actions. Uh, so what is that? There are 20 types of religious scriptures. Hmm? So we know Vedic scriptures has lot of branches. Shruti and Smriti. Shruti means that which is heard, and Smriti means that which is remembered. Under the Shruti comes all the Vedas, Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharvaveda, and all the Upanishad. All those things come under Shruti, and Smriti comes all the Puranas, Itihasas, all these things. So in this, there are 20 types of religious scriptures called as Dharma Shastras. They also come in this tree, Vedic tree. Beginning from Manu Samhita. Manu Samhita means that which was composed by Manu. Because during Brahma's period, when so many Manus come and go, we know the Swayambhuva Manu, so many Manus we know. So they have composed the law of mankind, or law code for mankind. That is called as Manu Samhita. How to live, because they are the Manus are the progenitors of human beings. So while they are progenitors, they also write the codes of conduct for human beings. That the codes of conduct is actually written, specified in Manu Samhita, written by Manus. And also one more is Parasara Samhita. This is all coming under Dharma Shastra. Dharma Shastra means dharmic way of living, right way of living. So here it is stressed, although one may become free from reactions of most sinful activities by following the religious principles of these scriptures, Manu Samhita and Parasara. But we don't know now. Nowadays, nobody is following Manu Samhita or Parasara Samhita. All we know is Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. But these things nobody is practicing now. But it is said still, if you go to the code and do the prayaschitta, you may be free from the most sinful activities by following the religious principles of these scriptures. But however, this cannot, when following this prayaschitta, it cannot promote a sinful man to the stage of loving service to the Lord. This is a very important point. The sinful man may be free from sinful reactions, but he will not be promoted to the stage of prema bhav or love of Lord. But that's what I was saying in ISKCON. We can see people who are chanting. So we see so many brahmacharis, sadhus, sannyasis, and so many grastas. After they have taken up the chanting of the holy name, then their heart is getting transformed. They don't commit sin. Dyutam Pana Striya Suna. No meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. They are free from that. They are free from all the sinful reactions as well. As well as you can see that their attachment for Krishna grows. If they get that Priti, they get attracted by the lotus feet of the Lord. On the other hand, chanting of the holy name of the Lord, even once, not only frees one immediately from reactions of the greatest sins, but also raises one to the platform of rendering loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the benefit of chanting the holy name. Such a simple process. Prabhupada said is simple, at the same time it is sublime. Sublime means it's very, very powerful, subtle, and sublime. Who is described as Uttama Sloka. Uttama means higher, Uttama. Uttama Sloka means because he is famous for his glorious activities. So Krishna is described as Uttama Sloka. Meaning of Uttama Sloka is who is famous for his glorious activities. Thus, one serves the Lord by remembering his form, Rupa, his attributes, Leela, his attributes, and all paraphernalia, everything. All those things we remember by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that this is all possible simply by chanting the Lord's holy name. Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, because of Lord's omnipotence. So this is why when Srila Prabhupada realized this power of the holy name, so he crossed the ocean. He wanted to give this mercy to everyone, not only people in India, Bharat. He wanted to give it throughout the world. That's why he taken such a risk. At the age of 70, he crossed the ocean. And then today, by his mercy, in nook and corner of the world, in every city and every town around the world, the holy name of the Lord is chanted. We cannot imagine. Harinam Sankirtan is chanted in the streets in almost all the major cities in the world. Everywhere, name a city or country, You can see there is a center, people go for Harinam Sankirtan. So this is because of mercy of Prabhupada, because Prabhupada realized the potency and power of chanting the holy name. That's why he spread this chanting far and wide around the world, every nook and corner. So that is because of the Lord's omnipotence, because the Lord's name is not different from the Lord's holy name. Nam Nam Akari Buddha, Nija Sharva Shakti. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, and Tatra Pita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha. So what cannot be achieved through the performance of Vedic rituals can be easily achieved through the chanting of Lord's name. So this is a special benediction in the age of Kali that Krishna is bestowing, that even though you cannot do properly follow spiritual life because of your fast-paced life, people are so much busy from morning to night, so much with the mobile, so much with the office work, and so much with the responsibilities, family responsibilities. So Krishna understood this situation, and with his causeless mercy, is given this benediction that take my shelter of my holy name sincerely, and you can be protected in this sinful age. That to chant the holy name and to dance in ecstasy is so easy and sublime. Again, Prabhupada writing the word sublime, very powerful. To chant the holy name in and dance, that's what we do. Kirtan. So we need to chant and dance in ecstasy. Whenever we are happy, naturally we dance. That's why we have these clubs and all. People go and dance there. Because when you are happy, the symptom is you will dance naturally. You in groups, you will dance. Okay, so same way when we are chanting the holy name, we are dancing in ecstasy. And it is so easy and sublime that one can achieve all the benefits of spiritual life simply by following this process. Only thing, chanting and dancing. Okay, so that simply by following this process, one will achieve all the benefits of spiritual life. So that is our greatest fortune, that we have come in contact with this Krishna consciousness movement. We are chanting, and more important is we got faith in this chanting. That is the biggest benediction, because when we have faith, then we'll see wonders in our life. We'll see transformation in our life. And people who don't have faith, even though they are asked, requested to chant, they don't chant because they don't have faith. They think, what is this chanting all day, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna? What benefit it will give me? Whether it will give me food, whether it will give me money. Like that, people think, why to simply sit and chant? What is the use? Yeah, so people don't know that you are getting purified internally, you are getting connected to the lotus feet of the Lord, your spiritual life is getting developed, and also the past sinful reactions are getting diminished. All those things are there. These are sublime, subtle effect. Not everything can be seen visually outside. This all happening within our heart. As every day we are chanting, slowly, slowly, all our anarthas will vanish. And slowly, slowly, our prema for the Lord will increase. And all our sinful reactions also will go. So these are internal things which the public cannot see. But people who are taking the faith, they can realize, they can see the importance of chanting. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu declares, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtam. Shishashtakam, we read this, no? Cheto Darpanam Arjanam, Vamaha Davagni Nirvapanam, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, Vidya Vadu Jivanam, Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam, Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam, Sarvatma Snapanam, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. All glories to this Sri Krishna Sankirtana, which will cleanse our heart, also extinguish the forest fire of material existence, and Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam will increase the pleasure. So this chanting, it is said that it has these 3 P's. First P is when you are chanting in the initial stage, your mind gets purified. That is Cheto Darpanam Arjanam. Then second P is you get peace of mind. That is Cheto Darpanam Bhava Maha Davagni Nirvapanam. This blazing forest fire will be extinguished. That means you'll experience peace of mind, second P. And further, when you chant Shuddhanam, then you will experience Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam, experience pleasure. So this is the 3 stages of chanting: purification, peace of mind, and pleasure. When we get this pleasure by chanting, then we will not seek pleasure outside in this material world. Because now we are seeking, because there is no happiness inside. So we are trying to search that happiness from outside things. Going to movie, going to restaurant, taking different things. We are trying to get happiness outside. But if you are chanting, you will get pleasure inside. The Prabhupada said, what is the difference between a materialist and spiritualist? A materialist is a person who tries to search happiness outside. And a spiritualist is a person who seeks happiness inside. Both are seeking happiness only. Materialist is seeking happiness outside, in the outside world, whereas spiritualist is seeking the same happiness inside. That is called Param Vijayati Sri Krishna Sankedam. Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. The third and final stage of chanting is by which we get pleasure. We relish chanting of holy names. As the Goswami said that, no, I don't want, I want more and more tongue and more ears to relish this chanting process. That is Shuddhanam, the final stage of chanting. So first we chant with Namabash, with the offenses. Then we get, then we chant with without offenses. First we are Namaprad. Namaprad is the first stage, chanting with offensive stage. That is first P. And then second stage we progress to Namabash. Namabash means clearing stage. And then final pleasure stage, Anandambudhi Vardhana means Shuddhanam, chanting at the pure stage where we get love of God. So that is the way, even though we are beginning, gradually if you are regularly chanting and we are in the association of devotees, we can gradually reach to the higher levels of chanting. The Sankirtana movement we have started, Prabhupada citing this, the Sankirtana movement we have started offers the best process for becoming purified of all sinful reactions and coming immediately to the platform of spiritual. So dual purpose. One is purified of all sinful reactions, at the same time simultaneously coming immediately to the platform of spiritual life. So we should consider ourselves very fortunate that we have come into this moment. We got faith in the holy name. We are chanting. We are associating with devotees. We are hearing Bhagavatam. We should continue this. This is more important for the modern world because the world, the way it is progressing, it is like a hell already. So only way we can protect from this hellish existence is to take the lotus shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna by taking the shelter of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. This is our only strength. This is our only shelter in this age of Kali, and there is no other way to get back to our original home, which is our home called as Golak. Hare Krishna. So devotees, any questions, comments, or you want to add any points, please feel free. Hare Krishna. So we have completed up to 6.2.11. Okay, so tomorrow no, Saturday we can continue from 12. So this is also, chanting is more powerful than prescribed atonement. 11 and 12 is actually the subject. Chanting is more powerful than prescribed atonement. So 12 also same. And this goes on up to the verse number 19. 19 verse about glories of 19th verse says, just as powerful medicine acts even when taken without knowledge of its powers, the chanting of the Lord's holy name is also effective whether done knowingly or unknowingly. This is 19. Then from 20 to 25, AJÂMILA's release and death. So we'll continue again Saturday, rest of the glories of holy name. Hare Krishna. Anybody has anything to add? Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Hare
very nice section Prabhuji. Thank you so much. And in this Kali Yuga, only Harinama Sankirtana is the main process for to get rid of our sinful actions, reactions, and
as
to
well
go
as to
to
develop spiritually. Yes.
spiritual platform.
Both together.
Both. Hare
Yes.
Krishna Prabhuji, very nice section. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you all for participating in this Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So we'll offer our pranams and wind up today's session. Vancha kalpatarabhascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta kodi Vaishnava vrinda ki jai. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Guru Maharaj ki jai. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank you all. Hare Krishna. See you on Saturday. Hare Krishna.